Good morning, my loves. Happy Friday. We survived the week. It was a doozy. I am so thankful it's over. So, kind of picking up where we left off yesterday, but we are sweeping it into self care. Were you able to step away from negativity for 3 hours? Were you willing and able to step away from the news, the negative crap on social media for 3 hours? Did it affect your life? Did you feel a little freer? Were your thoughts a little more clear, a little more positive? So, the challenge for today is try and do it longer. Try and do it all day if you can. Step away from negativity because you're worthy. You are worthy of a life of love and laughter and happiness and joy instead of surrounding yourself with hate and violence and negative thoughts, negative images, negative music. You're worthy of love and happiness as part of self-care. So today I have a question. We've all heard the adage, it's for one thing, it's in the Bible, but I mean, we've heard it, growing up, in school to treat your neighbor like you want to treat like you want to be treated. Okay, do unto others as you would have others do unto you, is the official quote. So, do you? Do you behave in a way, the same way you want people to treat you? I do. People that work with me, they don't get it. They will tell me, Brenda, you're a fresh air because we don't understand you. I am nice. I am kind. I go out of my way. I try to go through the office in the mornings and say hi to everybody, say something uplifting. And if you've been following my videos for the last few years, you know this is who I am. If you grew up with me, you know this is who I am. If we went to school together, if we have worked together, I mean, there are people that I have known that follow me that, gosh, I've known all my life. This is who I am. I'm really like this. I try to be kind and compassionate and loving to everyone. If I can help, I want to help because you never know when it's going to be you. I was thinking about this morning. Today's the anniversary of my mom's passing. Mom's been gone. Oh my goodness. She died in 97. And she's been gone, gosh, 20, what, 8 years? Long time. Long time. The anniversary of my dad's passing is coming up the end of the month. He has been gone 10 years. And they were very unique people. My dad was head of research and development for an very known avionics company. I had a very cushy upbringing. I did. They were very well off. And so I can't complain. I had a lot of things a lot of people didn't. But my parents worked hard to get where they were. They worked very hard. And we had a beautiful home in a beautiful area on some acreage. And I remember, middle of the night, the doorbell ringing. My dad would get up and answer the door. Somebody would be stranded down the road. Maybe they're having car trouble, they ran out of gas, well, they got in a fight. I remember one time somebody got in a fight with their boyfriend and this poor girl standing on our doorstep crying, just wanting help. My dad would help them. My dad would, the girl that was crying, he asked her in. He got my mom up to make her a cup of tea. He didn't think she was old enough for coffee. Made her a cup of tea, called her parents to come get her. That was my dad. If you ran out of gas, Dad would have a gas can in the garage. He would get dressed. I don't care how cold and snowy it was. He would get that gas can and walk to wherever their car was and help them. Middle of the night. My mom would have a fit. Good Lord, Joe, they're going to find you dead in the ditch. Somebody's going to hit you over the head. Now, Mother, you never know if this is going to be one of our kids. You'd want somebody to help them. That's how I was raised. That stuck with me. That's who I am. You never know. They're for the grace of God. So as a nurse, back, when I was a nurse back in the 80s and 90s, you treat people, the patients, the way you want to be treated. Maybe they're scared. Maybe they're sick. Maybe they don't want to be here, you know? They don't want to be getting stitches, to, to have a cast put on their arm, to have their bruises looked at, to have surgery. Be kind, be compassionate, listen to them. Give them a hug. It's okay. We got this. Today, in my job, every day, I'm there for the clients. I listen to them. I help them best way that I can. It's team effort. Everybody that I work with, the attorneys, the paralegals, myself, it's a team effort to help the clients. We loop the providers in. And, we have snafus, they will call, oh my gosh, we double booked, or we can't do this, we can't do that, we're going to have to schedule this differently. It's a team effort. We work together for the goals of our clients. And we look at it because I talked to a provider yesterday, and just crazy things were happening. And if it was us, we would want somebody doing this for us and our family. This is the way we would want to be treated. Is that how you live your life? If you are apathetic, if you don't care, do you want people being like that with you and your loved ones? When you're in a crisis, is that how you want to be treated? I work for a law firm that does personal injury and medical malpractice. And especially on the personal injury side, I was talking to one of the attorneys yesterday, and we were talking about, some of the accidents people get in. And for the most part, I mean, if it's a fender bender, you're rear-ended, the little dings and the things that aren't overly horrible, they're more of an inconvenience, and they just kind of piss you off more than anything. That you pretty much know how to handle. Call the police. They'll get a police report, depending on where you live. And then you call an attorney and you call your insurance company, and okay. But when it's a big, horrible accident and you're seriously injured, a family member is seriously injured, they're rushed into emergency surgery, they're getting transfusions, that's terrifying. And then, you may or may not understand the medical aspect of what's going on, the terms the doctors are throwing around. At the same time, you're getting calls from the insurance company wanting to know where your car is or who towed it, and you don't know. You're worried about your loved one. Maybe it's you. You're worried about yourself. Your focus is on you right now, not on your car. Although there are some people that are more worried about their cars and their motorcycles than they are about their own health. That's okay. I'm not here to judge anybody. But how would you want to be treated? How would you want your parents or your kids, your spouse, your loved one to be treated when all hell has broke loose? Their world is upside down. I call it the snow globe effect, because 5 minutes before your life was fine, now it's a snow globe and somebody keeps shaking it. You want somebody there to guide you through the process, to help you, to listen to you, to be understanding and compassionate. Not to, give you the yeah, whatever. Not to just give you lip service, but to come through. I had a client call me on my way home from work last evening. We talked for an hour. Her loved one's in the hospital, critically ill. They're talking, once he stabilizes, they're going to have to move this person to an acute rehab center. What does that mean? What is that? How do I find one? What do I do? She is in a panic. Her family doesn't know. They've never navigated these waters. What would you do? I try to listen and be compassionate. I told her to, talk to the social workers there at the facility. Talk to the director of nursing. There are people there who will help you. And I guide them on the path. That's what I do. I've been there when my parents were ill, when my mom was in hospice, when my dad was dying. Been there when my daughter died. Things that have happened in my life. Things that have happened in the lives of people I love. That's how I look at it. There for the grace of God go I. How do you look at life? It could be you. The energy, What you send out in this world, you will receive back. So if you're manipulative, you will be manipulated. Maybe it's a learned behavior in your family. Maybe you've learned to throw tantrums and fits to get what you want. You pout to get what you want. You flirt to get what you want. That's not always going to work, and that's a very hard life lesson you're going to have to learn. But you will learn it, and the situations will repeat themselves until you do. Treat other people the way you want to be treated. Be a straight shooter. Be honest with people. Be truthful. Be yourself. Be authentic. Be helpful and kind and compassionate, because we're all worthy. We're all worthy of being able to feel whatever we feel. Nobody can judge you or tell you you can't feel that way. You can feel however you feel. I had somebody call me late the other night. They found out their surgeon told them they're going to have surgery. Their ortho said they're going to have some major surgery on a crushed hand. They're devastated. They're going to have to be out of work longer. Yeah, you are, but we're going to have to get it fixed. It's not going to fix itself. We're here for you. I'm here for you. We're going to get through it. Because that's what I would want somebody to say to me, to listen to me, to lift me up and to be there. I think that's kind of why God put us here, to be there for each other, to lift each other up, to listen, to be compassionate and empathetic, to give a hand up, not a handout, not to screw somebody over, manipulate them to get what you want, to be hateful, hurtful, spiteful, vengeful. But that's just my thoughts. Something to think about. And it all circles back to self-care. How you treat yourself, how you treat others, comes back to you.